Once upon a time in Nigeria, there lived a man named Ikenna. Everyone knew Ikenna as a coward. He was a nomad, rearing cattle, goats, and chickens. The nomadic life was tough, with many dangers and frequent clan wars. But Ikenna hated all these challenges because he was very afraid. One hot afternoon, while Ikenna was sleeping in his mud hut, his wife Ineka came running with bad news. A rival clan has entered their village, planning to kill all the men from Ikenna's clan. Ikenna, wake up! Enemies are coming to attack us soon, Ineka shouted, shaking him vigorously. Ikenna rolled over, grumbling and annoyed. Why do you always try to scare me with such stories? He grumbled, rubbing his eyes. This is no joke, Ikenna. Our neighbors are talking about the attack. You must defend our family and our home. Ineka insisted, her voice shaking with urgency. Ikenna, however, was too scared to think about defending anyone. His mind raced with thoughts on how he could escape. As the sound of panic grew louder outside, Ikenna finally came up with a plan. Ineka, quickly, roll me under the mat and start crying. Tell them your husband is dead, he whispered urgently. Ineka did as she was told, but her crying didn't sound convincing enough for Ikenna. From under the mat he whispered, cry louder, make it believable. The enemy soon arrived at Ikenna's hut. Seeing Ineka in tears, they asked, Woman, why are you crying? My husband is dead, Ineka replied. When did he die? One of the enemies asked suspiciously. Ikenna and Ineka had forgotten to agree on a timeline. Before Ineka could respond, Ikenna from under the mat whispered loudly, Tell them I died yesterday. The enemies hearing Ikenna's voice burst into laughter. What a foolish man. He hid under a mat and expects to fool us. They scoffed. He's not worth our time. Let him live in his shame. And so the enemies left, leaving Ikenna to crawl out from under the mat humiliated. Days turned into weeks, and Ikenna's cowardice became the talk of the village. Children would gather around the elder, eager to hear the tale of Ikenna the coward. One evening, as the sun set and the villagers gathered around the fire, Elder Obina began the story. Have you heard the latest about Ikenna? He asked. No, tell us, the children chorused. Well, Obina began. After the enemies left, Ikenna decided he needed a new plan to protect himself. He built a small underground bunker in the middle of his hut. Whenever he heard the slightest noise, he would dive into his bunker, leaving poor Ineka to defend herself. One day, a goat wandered into their hut. Ikenna, thinking it was an enemy, jumped into his bunker so quickly and it got stuck. Ineka had to pull him out by his legs, scolding him the whole time. But the final twist came a few months later. A traveler brought news of a great festival in the neighboring village. There would be music, dancing, and a contest for the bravest warrior. Despite his repetition, Ikenna decided to attend, hoping to find some way to redeem himself. At the festival, a magician disguised as an old man offered Ikenna a special potion. Drink this, the magician said. You will become the bravest man in all the land. Despite to change his fate, Ikenna drank the potion. But instead of becoming brave, he found himself with a powerful urge to dance. He started dancing wildly and making everyone laugh. By the end of the night, Ikenna had become the star of the festival, not for his bravery, but for his hilarious dancing. The villagers cheered and even the magician was amazed at the outcome. From that day on, Ikenna was no longer known as the coward. He became Ikenna the Dancer. And the story was told with laughter and joy. He may not have been the bravest man, but he brought joy and harmony to his village, teaching everyone that sometimes laughter is the best way to face your fears.